we're gonna get started. First of all, thank you so much to everyone for being here this morning. It's awesome to see all your bright, shiny faces. We're all in this together. Just a quick reminder, as we go through today, we're all human and there's going to be some glitches and people are going to make mistakes. We're all going to have some grace and some patience and get through this together. So I'll start off this morning by welcoming the incoming Chief of Staff, Peter Anderson. He is going to lead us this morning in the pledge.
Would all U.S. citizens of the United States please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America
and
to the republic
for which it
stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Peter. And might I say that is one of the most cohesive pledges I've heard on a Zoom call. Bravo, everyone, for staying together. That was impressive. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Walisha Gill, who is our executive trainer, and she is going to do an invocation.
Good morning, all. Could you please center your hearts and minds on these inspirational words? American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, and columnist Langston Hughes once wrote, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." As we gather today, fellow Rotarians, people of action, let us be grateful for all who dream of a world at peace and free from polio. Let us each, according to our individual beliefs, offer gratitude and blessings for one another. Let us honor and support those people, past, present, and future, who have sacrificed much for our dreams of a free world. Let us be a source of hope for those in need. May those who could not join us today be surrounded by grace and light. Let us give gratitude for our opportunities to use the collective power of Rotary to touch hearts, to explain, and to educate, to influence, to bring about change, and thus make dreams a reality for many. And let our feelings of love and kindness always be reflected in our dreams, actions, and commitment to service above self.
Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, well, my Zoom is giving me just the circle of death, and so I'm not sure if you can follow, but next we're going to, I would like to introduce our current district governor, Sheila Brennan, and ask her to say a few welcoming words.
I think Sheila's having computer issues.
No, I'm doing check-in, so I was working. Good morning, everybody. This is absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful to see all your beautiful faces this morning. It's really exciting to think about this day last year and how excited we were then, and that a whole year has gone by. And the year has been absolutely phenomenal for every single person. I am so proud of every one of you for what you have done with your Rotary career, and also for stepping up into the leadership positions that you have accepted to help our entire district move forward in the future. It's been such a year of imagination, of impact, everything that we have done, reaching out to our communities and adapting to all the changes as we have gone through everything that every club has done throughout the year, getting new service projects in place, starting new fundraisers, and bringing in the ones that you haven't been able to do in a few years. So please, please let us know anytime throughout the day if there is something you're a little confused about or you need just explained in a little bit more detail. This is for you. The whole day is all about us coming together as a community and starting to build that hope in ourselves, in our clubs, in the district, and in our communities around us. So please have fun. Make this what it should be for you and exactly what you're looking to get out of this. And that's what we're here for. Thank you all for being here. And with that, I turn it back over to our new boss, our almost district governor, Renee Laws.
Thank you so much, Sheila. I really appreciate it. And yes, I'm Renee Laws, and I will be the district governor on July 1st. We have had the past couple of years where we've been preparing for this moment to happen. And I want to thank everyone who's been part of that. For me, it's been an incredible journey, and I'm excited. I believe we may also have a graphic that shows our zone and RI leadership. Shannon, do we have those two? Oh, there we go. So currently we have Jennifer Jones, and on July 1st, Gordon McAnally will come in as our brand new Rotary International president. He is from Scotland, and he is a dentist. And then we've got Stephanie Urchik, who will follow him. Currently, Jeremy Hurst is our director of zones 33 and 34. You can see here in the map what that entails. There's also about 30 countries in the Caribbean that are included in our zone. We couldn't fit him in the picture. And then Patrick Eakes will come in as director when Amelia Stansel takes over as district governor on July 1st of next year. And following her, we will have Ravi Rispetto, who will be the district governor beginning July 1st, 2025. So as you can see, the district plans out our leadership well in advance so that we can have plenty of training and be prepared to lead our districts as we go through this process. Anybody who's interested in joining at the district level, if anybody's interested in becoming a district governor sometime in the future, holler at me. Give me a call. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is move into our committee reports section. This is kind of the highlight, or I'm sorry, that's a big fib. That's a big fib. That's a big fib. We're going to hear from Gordon McAnally himself. When I attended International Assembly in January this year, each district governor from around the world showed up in Orlando for a week to do our final training session and to finally meet one another in person. So we had 540 incoming district governors from around the world, and we were the first to get to hear the new theme and the message from our president in person about where he wanted Rotary to be. So we're going to hear from him now here in District 7610. Roll it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that warm welcome. You are much too kind. Isn't this a great time to be a member of Rotary? We are in the midst of a wonderful historic year, one that in all honesty, no one is in any great hurry to end. So instead of ending, let's create a new beginning. Instead of closing the door on one year, let's build a bridge to the next. Because as long as a river flows, people appreciate a way across. I used to see an example of that every day in life as I drove to my dental practice in Edinburgh, past some of Scotland's most prominent landmarks, the bridges over the River Forth. Some of you will be aware of them. They are iconic pieces of engineering. The Forth Bridge, the rail bridge, was opened in 1890. The Forth Road Bridge was opened in 1964, and more recently, the Queensferry Crossing Bridge was opened in 2017. The thing that always strikes me about the Forth bridges, rail and road, every time I see them, is that they were built by people who had vision. Vision for people they might never meet, vision for people they would never know, vision for people whose lives would be improved. And that vision, even as in the case of the Forth Bridge 133 years later, is appreciated by all of those who use them. Just as our vision in Rotary is appreciated by those whom we serve. Now, for anybody rushing to create their own bridge logos, thinking that that image has something to do with our theme, let me stop you right there. Because not every metaphor is a theme. And by the same token, not everything you will do over the next year will be related to advancing and supporting the theme that I will soon introduce. We've been handed the reins of leadership at a very opportune moment, a historic moment, when Rotary has a chance to capture the world's attention and point ways to possibilities way beyond our current expectations. Yet much of our best work may be supporting the continuing efforts of others. So let's build upon what President Jennifer and other Rotary leaders have started and make it possible for even greater achievements ahead. So much of the work that I will do and that everyone in Rotary leadership should do is about continuity. Continuity means advancing the good ideas of leaders who came before you. We should all take inspiration from the words of the poet Maya Angelou, who said, "Continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness." Over the past several years, we have seen this commitment to continuity in action, as one Rotary president after another has kept and built on promises to empower Rotaract. The results have been astonishing, and Rotaractors continue to encourage us with their eagerness, not just to be full partners in Rotary, but to be leaders as well. And so now it is up to us to make sure that Rotary and Rotaract clubs continue to find new ways to collaborate and support each other. Another great example of continuity is empowering girls. President Jennifer set a wonderful example of this when she decided to continue President Shekar's programme. A programme that in many respects Rotary had been doing for years, but it just took Shekar to mention it and name it and expand it. And I have made clear that I will build upon what both of these presidents have done to help children like my two granddaughters, Ivy and Florence, across the world grow into strong and fully empowered women. I am also keen to fully support all of the progress we have made to advance diversity, equity and inclusion in everything we do. Fully supporting DEI doesn't just mean increasing numbers, although those numbers are very important. The most important aspect of DEI is making Rotary an open, inclusive organisation that embraces the best people, the best ideas and the best partnerships, no matter where they come from. People need to be able to look at Rotary and see themselves, and it is up to us to ensure that they do so. There are two other aspects of continuity that will be vitally important to the work that we do. The first involves polio. I'm sure you know that eradicating polio remains Rotary's top corporate priority. And there is so much we have done over the past 35 years of which we can be proud as we have followed our dream of a polio-free world. I also know it can be a little fatiguing to be reminded time and time again just how close we are to finishing the job and how important it is that we raise at least $50 million each year to receive the full Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation match. Maybe we need an extra level of challenge. Right now, only 1 in 12 members of Rotary currently give to the polio campaign, with fewer than 1 in 5 clubs donating each year. With recent polio outbreaks in major metropolitan areas around the world, attention has once again shifted towards eradicating this terrible disease once and for all. And once that happens, when that happens, Rotary will deserve enormous historical credit. So this is the time for us to go beyond what's necessary year to year and make sure we provide every resource possible and every resource necessary to succeed as quickly as we can. I need your help in creating a new sense of urgency, to create hope that we will finish the job on polio before even more outbreaks threaten the children of the world. I need your help to bring Rotary's dream to life. We need to heed the insightful words of Jonas Salk, the creator of the polio vaccine, who said, "Hope lies in dreams, in imagination, and in the courage of those who dare to turn dreams into reality." These words are meaningful for all the work we do. They apply just as well to every aspect of the Rotary Action Plan. This plan is all about creating hope and providing our members with the knowledge and the courage they need to change. To accomplish this, we need to talk to our members about how to design service projects with known outcomes grounded in evidence. We need to engage with each other and everyone we serve with open, inclusive and compassionate minds. We need to look for every opportunity in the work that we do and in the relationships we form to transcend generations and borders. And we need to eagerly embrace new ideas and perspectives that can create lasting change in the world. To accomplish this, I hope you will engage with fellow Rotarians on the goals of our action plan, because this is the best example of continuity in leadership, building off the best of Rotary's past to create something even greater. One part of the action plan that I hope all of you have memorized by now is our vision statement. Together, we see a world where people unite to take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. Embracing the action plan and giving clubs practical ways that they can implement it is the best way you can create lasting change in our communities. I want to turn my focus now to the two other elements of the vision statement. creating lasting change across the globe and in ourselves. And to do this, I want to focus on two specific, hopeful ways that we can bring these visions to life. The first is to put a greater focus on peace. I have no doubt that the founders and the builders of this organisation would be proud of the hard work we have done in the past year to support the people of Ukraine as they have faced the brutal and unprovoked war with Russia. As we have done so many times in the past, Rotary has answered history's call and put humanitarian relief first. We have donated generously, supported our fellow members wholeheartedly, and earned the respect of the entire Ukrainian people, who continue to join us in greater numbers. And doesn't that tell us something about how to attract and engage new members? But we know that true relief will not come from either the Ukrainian or, for that matter, the Russian people until there is peace. And the same is true in Yemen, in Afghanistan, in Syria, and in dozens of other places of conflict across the globe. Peace is the soil where hope takes root. We till this soil every time we create new connections between people and find new opportunities for commonality. And so over the next year, we will be introducing virtual international exchanges, and you will be hearing more about them later this week. In Rotary, we know that peace is not a passive dream. It is an outcome of hard work, earned trust, and often difficult conversations. We know that peace must be waged persistently and bravely. The bravest goal a human being can set is the pursuit of peace. And in Rotary, everything we do across all our areas of focus helps build the hope that in turn makes peace and redemption possible. In 2006, I visited a village in Thailand, Ban Taling Jan, where Rotary members, following the tsunami of 2004, had provided new houses, a meeting hall, a childcare facility, and a healthcare facility. There I was approached by a woman who looked as worn as you might expect of someone who had faced and lived through what she had done. That woman offered me a beautiful seashell. This beautiful seashell. She explained that the shell had been in her possession for more than 30 years. It was one of her very few remaining possessions. And initially, I was reluctant to accept it. But she insisted on giving it to me as a token of her gratitude for what Rotary had done for her. Later on the tour, I saw the woman again, and I learned that she had lost her husband, her daughter, and also her son in the tsunami. She told me that that disaster had taken everything. She lost her family, her home, her livelihood, but worst of all, she had lost hope and all reason to continue to live. But she went on to tell me that Rotary, thanks to all we had done to rebuild her community, had restored her optimism. She told me we had given her hope. This is a beautiful shell. And as I was planning the theme for our year and what it would mean, I was drawn not only to the shell, but also to the colours of the world around us. which are used to great effect by one of Scotland's greatest living artists, John Laurie Morrison, OBE, better known as Joe Lomo, whose paintings Heather and I have admired and collected for many years. As we were selecting the colours for our ties and our scarves, as you can now see on the screen behind me, I wanted them to reflect the world's colours, and more importantly, what Rotary should focus on in our year ahead. The memory of the lady from Thailand and these colours made me realise that what we should be seeking to do at this time, what we should be using as our call to action, and it all made me realise what our theme should be. And so I am delighted to tell you that our theme for 2023-24 will be Create Hope in the World. Gib der Welt Hoffnung. Crea esperanza en el mundo. Crions l'espoir dans le monde. Creiamo speranza nel mondo. Se kai nikobo o motarasi. Se sage hemang ul. Crii speranga nu mundo. Sai shitie changosao shiwan. Skapa hope e varden. This is how Rotary brings lasting change to the world, one newly created hope at a time. And the theme also begins to explain how we help to create a similar kind of change within ourselves. Because for many people on this planet, lost hope is not a function of material poverty loss. All of us face challenges that threaten our well-being. And just as it takes tremendous courage to wage peace, so too it is brave to reach out and admit that you need help. In the wake of the pandemic, more people than ever are hurting. Many have lost the people closest to them. Others have seen their social networks uprooted. Divisions have grown wider. Opportunities for connection have been lost. And some of those hurting them most are the children and young adults whose education and social skills building has been so interrupted. And to make matters worse, in many parts of the world, asking for help, especially in mental health, is considered a weakness. But nothing could be further from the truth. It is brave to be vulnerable and to admit you don't have all the answers. Reaching out for help is courageous, and continuing on a path towards wellness even more so. Later this week, I will explain why I feel so strongly about the topic of mental health. And you will be hearing about some of the steps we will be taking over the next year and hopefully beyond to improve the mental health system, not only for our Rotary members, but for our communities as well. I want Rotary to become known as an organisation that takes care of its members as well as the people we serve. Any mental health professional will tell you that by helping ourselves, we essentially help others. The evidence overwhelmingly shows that helping others benefits our mental health and our well-being by reducing stress and improving our mood. The friendships developed along the way foster an incredible sense of community and camaraderie, themselves essential ingredients to mental health and wellness. So, these are our plans for the year ahead, that we help bring peace to the world and soothe those afflicted by conflict, and that we help each other and our communities deal with our own internal struggles, and that we end the stigma associated with asking for help. In all these actions, the goal is to create hope, to help the world heal from destructive conflicts, and in turn to help us achieve lasting change for ourselves. Rotary helps create the conditions for peace, opportunity, and a future worth living. By continuing what we do best, by remaining open and willing to change, and by keeping our focus on building peace in the world and within ourselves, Rotary creates a more peaceful world, a more hopeful world. And so, as Rotary leaders from all the regions, I urge you to create hope in the world. Thank you very much.
All right, I don't know about you, but wow, can that man tell a story and bring out some emotions? Being in that room in person when that was happening, I cannot tell you the electricity and the excitement that was in that room, just palpable, almost like it is right now, guys. Woohoo, we're here, we're at District Training Assembly, it's happening. Before I introduce our district chair or whoever they've chosen to represent their committee, I do want to real quick also mention we've got some PDGs in the house. Woo, woo. And by PDG, I mean past district governor, of which Sheila will be one soon. She's quite excited about that. I don't know if you can tell. But I do want to recognize that we have several of them in the house with us today. We've got Travis White, Pat Borowski, Ronnie Chancter, Glenn Yarborough, Harry Henderson, Jonathan Lucas, and anyone else that is a past district governor that's on this call. You have permission to call me out if I didn't see you in this room. So thank you so much for being here. This type of support just shows how strong our district is from the inside out. The fact that we have so many on the call today that are willing to serve and help us prepare the next leaders in our district for their terms in office. So with that, I'm going to begin by introducing the first chair that will give the briefing, and that is our Rotary Foundation Chair, past District Governor, Pat Borowski.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope, yeah, wow. And again, the theme is so connected to really what the ethos of Rotary is about. And many of you may know that the theme or the, I guess the ongoing theme for the foundation is doing good in the world. So doing good in the world means that we are creating hope. We don't need to go through all of this. Eventually you will get, but we have a number of goals. I'm not going to really discuss at this point the goals in terms of where we want to take our foundation activity in terms of donations, because you're going to hear that this afternoon in the foundation program. But the one that I really want us to focus on is that number one, our team is dedicated and we are creating and improving support and information resources for you to use. In our clubs and in our districts and in ourselves, we really need to create better updated knowledge and awareness of not just giving donations to the foundation in this kind of odd term, but to really understand what the Rotary Foundation does every day in our communities, in our country and worldwide. And so we are planning a series. Every month, there will be a foundation information program. And the subjects, some have already been pegged for the year because of timing on projects. And others are going to be filled in as we go forward. A vital part of this is we need you, every single one of you, to tell us your questions about the foundation, your what you would like to see presented, what you think your club needs, so that we can customize programs to your varying interest. Every single one of these programs will be recorded. All of the resources will be put in a resource folder that will be made available to everyone, so that you in your club can, if a question comes up, you can be working with your area foundation advisor or your AG or any member of our team, so that we can become once again a knowledgeable whole district in terms of the foundation. I'll just go quickly with the others. These are goals that you have already begun to make progress on. So what we ultimately want to see by the end of 2025 is that every single one of our clubs will be a 100% sustaining club. And that means $100 donation from everyone in the club. And again, who can, and doing it with Rotary Direct is $10 a month. You know, that's 2 Starbucks, okay? And the second thing is, these are things we're going to be telling you more about as we go forward in the year. To be a 100% benefactor society. What does that mean? What that means is you say, yes, I will give $1,000 in my bequest, in my will. You don't have to do anything to formalize that, legalize that. It is an expression of your aspiration and commitment to the Rotary Foundation. And then additionally, we want every club to strive for at least 25% of your members being continually Paul Harris Society members. And that is that they are giving $1,000 a year to the extent that they can. And one of the beauties of the foundation is, if you have to stop, you know, for whatever the reason is, Rotary holds your record, so that when you're ready to rejoin your Rotary Foundation donation plan, Rotary Foundation picks that up and you continue to build on your credit. So you are valuable to Rotary always. And then the last thing is for those members that have already made progress on their Rotary Foundation giving, and they are Paul Harris Society at the higher levels, we want them to understand their opportunity to become major donors, and further to work with you to create your personal enduring legacy to the Rotary Foundation through our endowment programs. And of course, we have several people, and you're going to hear this from Sandy and Peter later this afternoon. I wasn't sure, Renee, did you want to talk about the polio project at this point?
You are free to mention that. I'll delve into it a little bit later, but go for it.
Oh, okay. All right. So starting beginning next year, District Governor Renee is putting together a polio awareness and fundraising challenge. Okay. And we are going to have a meeting, and the date is set, and the Zoom link will be sent out in July. Now, July's meeting does 2 things. One, it's going to follow up on the goal setting activities that, again, Peter and Sandy are going to talk to you about this afternoon. But primarily, it's going to be to help clubs organize so that they can begin a fundraising and awareness program as of August 1, going through all the way to October 24th. Renee's going to talk more about the details, but the bottom line, it's going to be an activity-driven one for those that can be active. If you're not active, you have the option of self-improvement opportunities that will convert to activity steps. And then thirdly, we may be putting an actual little mini challenge as October starts for a bike race, but not a bike race, but, you know, pedal for polio. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. And we really need to get out there, and we're hoping, and Renee will tell you what her aggregate dollar goal fundraising is for the coming year. And if we meet that goal and exceed it, then Renee and others, perhaps myself, will go. Well, I won't spoil that. I'll let Renee tell you, but we will do something really big. And quite frankly, when you hear it, you'll want to invest in this program just to see that event take place. Okay. So I don't want to belabor, since we're going to have a foundation and there's other people to speak, but if anybody has any questions, you know, I can answer a few now, but please never hesitate to use, and that's the word, use your district Rotary Foundation team. It is your part of your team, not you being, and you are part of the collective team of the district, but we support you to make you successful, and your members really appreciate the rare, and let me just say one last thing. The Rotary Foundation is one of the largest, if not the largest, and it is the longest running private nonprofit program in the world. And that is because Rotarians, just like you and I, decided to make the commitment so that when we were no longer there, Rotary and giving hope and doing good in the world would continue. And so let's be part of that machine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time this morning as well. So next we're going to hear from Mish Peters with Service.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, my video doesn't seem to be working this morning, so I put up a picture of myself, but I'm really excited to be working with community service this year. And I think my greatest goal is to kind of really bring all of us together. We all do so many different projects that are really great, that have, like, I loved how they said, having known outcomes with lasting change across the globe and within ourselves, right? So that intrinsic reward and that intrinsic giving just lights my fire. So my really, it's a very simple goal, is just to bring all of us together as a district so we can support each other, and, you know, we rise by lifting others. And so that's what I think we really need to do, is help each other out, network, connect, make our lives easier, and support each other with all the great work we're doing. So that is my overall goal for the year this year, is just to really make us a collaborative team, and so we can have that synergy to work together.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to see the collaboration happening between clubs, the collaboration that our district's doing with other districts. And I feel like it's such a strong part of who we are. Rotary is a force multiplier. So if we've got partners that are trying to achieve something and we enter the picture, we can make that event, that activity, that fundraiser, that much better. We have a lot of amazing, incredible volunteers in our district, and we're just so lucky. All right, I'm going to move on. Next, we've got Pam Montgomery with the DEI committee report.
Good morning. Fellowship, integrity, and impact. Those three words describe who we are as the Rotary Clubs of District 7610. I'm Pam Montgomery, and I'm so glad to be your chair of DEI this year, working with Renee and the rest of you and all of our clubs. Have as our goal for DEI to expand our reach, because that's one of the action goals of Rotary International. It's essential to expand our reach, if we are to realize our vision of a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change. We have a three-part, three action steps that we can take to expand our reach. 1, to educate our members. 2, to connect with people in the community who are currently not represented in our clubs. And 3, to plan activities and events that recognize and celebrate the diversity in our club and in our community. And why are those 3 so important? It's important that we educate our members and encourage them to learn more about DEI and why it's so important. Because when people walk into a Rotary Club, they should feel like they can be themselves. They should feel like they're valued, and then they're more likely to stay. So DEI, as President McAnally said, it's about being more of yourself. It's about seeing yourself in that club. And this committee is here to support you and your clubs and how you achieve diversity, equity, and inclusion in your clubs. As I said, we're going to provide you resources and point you to resources to help you educate your members, such as the Build a Diverse Club course. You can bring in experts to your club. You can familiarize yourself with the DEI Code of Conduct. The next step, connect with people in your community who are not represented in the clubs. And we can do that easily by inviting people who you serve in your community to join you in a service project. Instead of providing them a check or working with them on something, invite them to work with you on another project. You can also invite a member of the community who you know, who through these partnerships to join your club. Sometimes they may ask us to join something with them, but forget to reciprocate and ask them to join us. And third, plan activities. So we'll be talking about activities that your club can plan, that we can plan as a district to make sure that we celebrate the diversity in our clubs and in our community. We will have an initial meeting on Sunday, July the 16th, with representatives from the clubs who are working on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I invite anyone who would like to serve on the district committee to also attend that meeting. The Zoom link is there. It's Sunday, July 16th at 2 p.m. And that's my report this morning. Chair Renee.
Awesome. Gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and thank you for being here. And thank you for all the committee chairs, for all the work you guys have done to not only help prepare for this moment, but to prepare for the year ahead. I love the fact that we're thinking 2 steps ahead so that we can lead the clubs where they need the most help. Thank you. So next we have, with our Peace Builder Committee, Bill Cawley.
Bill, you're on mute.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It was pretty exciting to hear President McAnally talk about peace during that address a few minutes ago. But the peace building is a little bit different because peace is vague, and peace building is really a new way of thinking about peace, peace building. And if you want to hear another speech at the convention, Google John Huco's speech that he gave at the convention. Huco, of course, is Rotary's General Secretary, and he talked more specifically about peace building and the Institute for Economics and Peace, which gives you a little bit better way of looking at these things. Peace is vague, peace building is action and actionable. And the whole idea is to include peace building within our service projects. A service project in and of itself is not necessarily a peace project, but peace building intentionally included is. I'm not going to read that whole thing you see in front of you there, but there are a couple of things I'd like to point out. First of all, the purpose of the Peace Builder Committee is responsible for promoting club and district participation and increasing the peace building capacity of our Rotary District and advancing the work of district Rotarians as peace builders. And if I could pull out just a couple of the goals as an example of that. Number 2, to raise awareness among district Rotarians of Rotary's history of peace and its evolution toward its priority for positive peace and peace building activities. That's what's new. And number 3, to educate about Rotary's strategic partner, the Institute for Economics and Peace, and its tools for achieving positive peace through peace building. And then number 5, to encourage and aid clubs in becoming district peace builder clubs. The way to do that is training. As I said, this is a brand new concept, and people sometimes confuse peace with peace building, and it's not the same. Negative peace and positive peace are 2 very different concepts. And so training through the various training activities of the district conference, the Chesapeake Pets District Training Assembly, all these things are key to getting the word out to Rotarians so they start to understand how this all works. Another great way to promote this is through the end of the year recognition programs. But to do that, the criteria must go out right now. It can't wait till the end of the year. But if we had those goals set and no later than August, maybe even July, clubs can start working toward achieving the goals that are necessary to be recognized at the end of the year as a peace builder club, for example, or the service projects, or the governor's citation and the president's citation. But all of that needs to be promoted early in the year, not at the end of the year. And then lastly, I would just ask anyone in this group, or if you know others who would like to be a member of the Peace Builder Committee, this is an open invitation to please reach out to me, and we'd love to have you on board as part of the Peace Builder Committee. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate it. Peace building is something that I have just recently started to learn about. And when we had our peace conference just before our district conference this year, we also did the same thing last year. We had a peace conference just before the district conference. My eyes have been opened to the possibilities. If you told me 2 years ago, peace in the world is possible, I would tell you, nope, that's just something that beauty pageant queens say at the beginning of their speech. But in learning more about it through the colleagues, through Peter Kyle, through all the folks that are passionate about it, including our district governor, Sheila Brennan, seeing the positive piece and the negative piece formats laid out, and so that you could understand them, it's mind-boggling how to actually comprehend that peace is possible. It blows my mind, and it's exciting to be part of it as a peace building district. So I encourage as many clubs as possible to really delve into this and see if this is something that could be up your alley, because I think you'll be surprised. Thank you, Bill. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on and on, but that's an exciting one to me. Next, we have something else that's very exciting, because this is new. We have something new. No one be scared. New is okay. We are introducing this year, and we already have a committed team who's really started working hard on this already. We're creating and have created an environmental committee, because the environment is our new 7th area of focus and has been for a little while. And so we needed to put that somewhere in our district so that we could have a foothold in that. So we would like to hear now from David Feld, who will talk to us about the environmental committee.
Okay, I'm glad to do that. Also making a presentation would be Leanne Poland. We are not alone in the environment. People have been working on the environment for years. This is something that has been a problem or an issue. We have an Environmental Protection Agency. The most concentrated area of environmental experts are in District 7610. They're not necessarily Rotarians though, but we have the Environmental Protection Agency. We have the Virginia state agencies for the environment, and they all are in District 7610. Some are in Maryland, of course, because the federal government has a lot of their employees in Maryland as well as in Virginia. We have the bulk of them. Our goal, one of our goals would be to try to get their involvement in Rotary and their expertise. Not only do we have the federal agencies, but we have all these individual organizations. We have the Chesapeake Bay groups. We have the Susquehanna group, environmental groups. We have the, in my community, Lake Barker, we have the Watershed Improvement District. So we have a lot of individuals and organizations focusing on that. So one of our goals that we will do in the environmental committee is to find out the contact information for these organizations, so our Rotary clubs will have a direct link or know who to go to directly to get information about the projects that they want to do in their environment. And that would be for large scale or community area projects. But there's another thing that we can do, and Leanne will talk about that, is what the individuals can do. And she has a concept called Reduce Your Footprint. And I don't know if that can be shown up here. But Leanne, would you like to talk about Reduce Your Footprint? And then I'll finish up with the rest of what
yes.
we're doing. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, David. We, David and I and Eileen and some others have really been looking at, how to structure this for the district. And one of the very simple things is to have everyone consider their own footprint. We have a slide on that we can share that will be available, but this is something that we can build on as a group as well, such that the clubs can have can work together to study how small things that the individual can do, how that impacts. As we take that on and grow it beyond just ourselves. So there is so much that we need to do from an environmental standpoint. But it doesn't have to be something huge. It can be something small that builds and builds and builds, because those ripples are what are so important. It's not just one thing. Once you're doing one thing, you start being much more receptive and recognizing the advantages, and then you move to the next and the next and the next. And our lifestyles have will be enhanced by seeing the improvements that we can see around us.
Yeah, well, and we have within Rotary, we have people that are expert in the environment in various areas of the environment. We'd like to know who those Rotarians are, not necessarily so they join a district committee, but who they can become a focus in their own club to develop environmental projects that are useful to their own communities, and also to share their successes with the other clubs. So we would really like to know who those environmental champions are within Rotary right now that we don't know about, and who are doing things that we would love to know about. So the presidents, we hope the presidents of the club can help make us a list of who in their club have an interest in the environment and what we can do to further promote that. And the other, what are the organizations in your area that have successfully developed environmental projects that protect the built environment as well as the natural environment? The environment in the built areas is a little different than the natural environment. What you can do in the built areas is different than what you can do in the natural environment. So you may have experts in your club. We'd like to know who they are so we can start to brainstorm solutions that are shared by everybody. And that's it for our initial briefing on this. But our goal is to meet with each of the AGs personally and get the information from them that best displays what or portrays what's going on in their area, so that we can see the ability for cross-club coordination. The environment doesn't stop at our club boundaries. The environment crosses club boundaries. So we need to have projects that work across those boundaries. And once we develop the models for those, other clubs can replicate those easily without having to reinvent the wheel each time. So looking forward to it. Glad working with Leanne and everybody else. And bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Gosh, the response for adding environment has been overwhelming. Everyone is very excited about us bringing this committee on, but I just want to thank Dave and Leanne for coming to me and saying, how can this is something important. This is what, we believe is important in creating this committee. So I can't do any of this alone. So I really appreciate that you've jumped in with both feet, and we'll do a Q&A at the end. And if you guys want to pop into the PE room, let Kaz know, and we can have you guys come in and speak to the PEs directly if you'd like to kind of talk to them about how you'd like to work with them. So any of the chairs that want to pop into the PE conversation, send Kaz a private message. He's gonna really be mad at me for this, but send Kaz a private message, and he can get you to the correct room if you want to come to our breakout. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you all to our, also we had a couple of PDGs join us after I said hello to the ones that were with us, and I don't want to get in any trouble. So I'm going to say hi to Sandy Duckworth and Rich Story. Thank you for joining us this morning and being here as part of this training session. So we're going to switch it over to Earl with membership.
Good morning, everyone. Kaz, can you scroll down to the bottom? There you go. I just wanted to point out that the people that you see here are all part of the membership committee that we established last year. And each one's got their own specialty that you can see there. So, Gordon McNally talked about the bridges, and that's kind of where we stand with membership at this point. We're bridging into the next year. This last year, we have established some tools to help out with the membership efforts in the clubs. And we started out and we've got a Discover Rotary package. We've got an engagement package. Once you acquire some of these new folks, we've got a package to help you get them up to speed in Rotary and help you retain them. There's also quite a few resources that are online from the zone and from RI and from the district. We've got a guide that will help you get logged into all of those and capture your passwords and so forth to make it easier to use those resources. We have put into place a process for handling membership leads that come in from RI. That's really a good source of people that are already what I call pre-attracted. There are people who've taken the time to fill out a form and say, I'm interested in Rotary. So we need a better way to take advantage of that. So we want to see, go back up to the top now, Kaz, if you don't mind. And there's some of the goals. We'd like to take those tools and educate some of the clubs more about what is available and get more of the clubs involved in actually implementing those things. One of the goals we've set up is to just increase membership in each club. I didn't really set a number goal of 5% or whatever, but we'd like to see each club add members this upcoming year. And you can see some of the other goals that we've got there, and then some of the events that we've got coming up. We support a lot of the different training events and information and so forth. One of the big things we're going to do in September of this year is another membership summit like we did last year. We had over 100 people at our membership summit. And this is going to be a little bit different this year. First of all, it's going to be held, all of it in downtown Fredericksburg. And one of the things that we're going to do, I know people that come down from Northern Virginia or come up from the Northern Neck and so forth, don't really relish getting up at dark 30 and driving up here and then sitting in a meeting all day. So what we have decided to do on the day before, that'd be Friday, the 8th of September, we're going to invite people to come to Fredericksburg, have lunch, and as many of you know, history is a big thing in Fredericksburg. After lunch, we're going to do a trolley tour of the basic sites around Fredericksburg, and then have some time to visit some of those sites. Have a program right before dinner at St. George's Episcopal Church, which is just celebrated its 300th anniversary as a parish and a very historic part of downtown Fredericksburg. And that just happens to be right across from the restaurant where we're going to have dinner that night. So chance to get together and have some fellowship and have some fun also, as well as go to the membership summit. At the summit itself, I'll let you know exactly who later on, but we're going to have a special guest speaker, and we're going to have a very special guest speaker. You'll hear more about that coming up. So, and we're going to talk more detail about membership during the breakout sessions. So, thank you much, Renee.
Sorry, hi, I had to find the unmute button. Thank you so much, Earl. Dude, I'm so looking forward to our membership summit in September. First of all, it's an opportunity for all of us to get together in person. And second of all, we have some special guests coming in. It's going to be very exciting. And we're going to learn a lot and help to grow our family of Rotary. So next we have a quick briefing on public image, and Jane Nash, who is our, she's brave. This I asked her to work on public image because I don't know if you've noticed, but Herndon Ruston puts out a lot of information, and she seemed the obvious choice. So she's going to lead public image this year. She's already started hard at work and has a few people on her team. If anybody's interested in joining, I know that she is taking volunteers. So with no further ado, Jane Nash with Public Image.
Thank you, Renee, for that kind introduction. You know, I'm really so excited to be here and to be a part of this district team. Over the past year, I've just being involved as a public image chair of our club, our Herndon Reston Club. I've just seen just by telling stories, it's telling the Rotary story, whatever you're doing with and how it's impacting your community, impacting your members. That's so critical. And also showing the success of your club and all the work, the great work that it does in your community. So I try, so anything that happens, I just, within your clubs, even the smallest things, it's so important to tell your Rotary story. So it's using effective communication, increasing, it also brings awareness to other people from the outside. Maybe you invite people into your club as a guest and they can see all of the great works that your club is doing, all the initiatives that you're doing. So with our district team, we do have, you know, we invite whoever's interested to join our team, but we have public relations, social media, you know, working on the Easy Story on the website, promoting our district events, also helping our district governor and our AGs to help them to tell their Rotary story. So I'm very excited to get different people into a list of speakers. I hope to meet on a monthly basis or even with those who are interested in coming in and who have questions or concerns of how to promote their clubs through. Rotary really makes it quite easy. They have a great Rotary International, myrotary.com has a great brand center. There's videos there, there's audio clips, there's templates that one can download to use. And so it really makes it quite easy to tell your story and create that impact and the great success that your clubs do. And also, you know, every month Rotary has a theme, so you can use your themes to bring fresh content to your club, and it also sort of gives the guidelines for members, what, you know, getting speakers in, that type of thing to strengthen Rotary's focuses. So I'm really excited. I have a great team, and it's about capturing moments, getting pictures. So if you have people in your club who are really good with photography, using your pictures, using just that message of content is so important, and telling that Rotary story. So I'm happy to be a part of this team and look forward to working with members and clubs on that. I'm excited about that. Thank you, Renee.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you that this is such a huge piece of our Rotary collaboration, public image. So often we as Rotarians feel like we need to be humble about our service. We feel like we don't need to be braggarts. We don't want to go around showing off and telling everyone, you know, look what we're doing. But the thing of it is that if we don't do that, people don't know what we're doing and they can't join us. They can't join us as partners. They can't decide they want to become part of our program because they don't know. And if they don't know what they're missing, they're not going to come chasing us down the street. So we have to remember public image plays such a key piece to all of this collaborative stuff we're trying to do with partners and other Rotary clubs. So keep that in mind as we go through. It's just so imperative. The next thing that we have is a quick update on our strategic planning. And I thought Juanita wasn't going to be able to make it here, but I believe, and once again, we have more recognition for a past district governor, Juanita Cawley. Am I right that she's on the call?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Cool beans. Do you want to give the report for strategic planning then, or would you like me to go ahead? I don't want to put you on the spot.
How about I'll give you what I know and you can add to it. How's that?
That rocks. Okay, you go.
All right. Well, I'm not sure who's on the call. I'm just getting here, and apologies for being late, but better late than not being here. We have a strategic plan right now. However, it's time that our district take a look at it and make a review and update it. So the plan is that we will initially form a core team to take a look at what we've got and take a look at what kinds of plan we want to make in order to gather data from input from just about as many people as we can achieve into the plan. It is, I have to remind everybody, it is a district plan. It is not a plan for each of the clubs. It is a district plan. So that means that we will want club and membership input, but it would be in the perspective of making a plan for the district. What we hope to do is once we get the core team together, maybe in July, we sit down together in person in August, make sure we have our plan in place. And then between September and maybe March, we gather our data and make some activities together where we can take a look at what we've got, prioritize what we've got in terms of data, and then make a plan for the next 3 to 5 years. So we would certainly hope to have it wrapped up before the end of this coming Rotary year. And we'll make every effort to do that, involving as many people as possible. There you go, Renee.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking on this task, because I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. I did not have strategic planning in my, I didn't have COVID in my strategic planning plan. Did anybody else have a worldwide pandemic? Raise your hand if you had worldwide pandemic on your bingo card. No? Okay. So I think that puts us all on the same boat. The district found that even the policies or the planning that we had in place really wasn't fitting with what was happening in the world. So we needed to kind of do a pause and regroup. So Juanita has agreed to help us refocus and do that, which is incredible. But this just goes to show that if you're experiencing that in your own club, it's not unusual or out of the norm. Every club is experiencing this around the globe. Every workshop that I sat in during International Assembly, one of the biggest things that we talked about, the two biggest things that we had to talk about were diversity and our planning, strategic planning. Diversity means something different in every part of the world. So those conversations were extremely educational and interesting to me. And the other piece was the strategic planning, because everybody's plans went off the rail. Nothing is going according to plan. And that's life, isn't it? So anyway, with that in mind, speaking to the future of Rotary and the future of where our program will go, youth. What a great segue. So I'm going to introduce Past District Governor Jonathan Lucas, who has graciously agreed to be our Youth Services Chair for the incoming Rotary year.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here. Exciting stuff. And this comes from an old past district governor who is now, got his second wind a little bit. So happy to be on board. And I'm going to go through our plan for the upcoming year. And of course, it's a lot more robust than what we can talk about in the next few minutes. But my thanks go out to my team, not my team, the district's team. Matt Levitt, Barry Gordon put a lot of effort into this last couple of weeks. Dr. Angela Conti, we have Valerie Boudin, we've got Suzanne McDougall, Sharon Lockwood, Waverly Brown, Ruth Pearson, Jamie Stork has been doing some work as well. So thanks to everyone who has kept this essential program afloat. Look, our goal is to empower Rotarians, clubs in our district, and using the real power, enthusiasm youth create to bring hope to the world, right? And so this really is our pipeline into the future of Rotary, our future Rotarians. And our goal is to maintain our expertise at the district level, to assist interested clubs, to engage young folks around our communities, and be an example of that hope that our incoming district governor and our incoming RI president are focused on. And so we got a number of objectives this year. Of course, the main goal is to promote, educate, provide opportunities for young people through our programming, both in our communities and around the world, and connect them to resources that will make them leaders and moving forward in all capacities, through their college life, into their adult life. And, our goal is to create this amazing pipeline of future Rotarians that are going to come back to us in districts around the world and make a difference. And so we're doing that through, of course, everybody knows RYLA, our Rotary Youth Leadership Program. And, this comprises of a lot of pieces, but the goal is, again, to provide them opportunities to speak, to create, and to lead. And it's so much fun to watch this. And I've been watching this from the outside for many years. I am a Rotaractor myself, and so I know the value of what Rotarians and Rotary clubs bring to the table for youth. We have our youth exchange, which we're rebuilding a little bit this year to propel it into next year with both inbound and outbound scholars. And so, look, folks, this is a very, very, very important program that we've gone sort of back and forth in our district as far as the capacity to do this. This is important because this is going back to the Juanita and Bill's work and everybody's work around peace. This is where peace starts, when we have this intersectionality of cultures and experiences coming together around the world, and our district wants to be a part of that. And so we're looking this year to rebuild our pipeline of inbound and outbound scholars. We have both short-term scholarship opportunities and, of course, the full year opportunities as well. And so we're going to make this strong once again. We have our district contest, and there are 3: music, speech, and essays. These bring out the very best in students. These are opportunities for clubs to work with schools, find these individuals, and really have them set a goal and be able to go up and be in front of audiences and have that public speaking opportunity and the possibility to create something and share that with the communities. And that's really cool. And of course, one of our biggest priorities is our Interact and Rotaract groups. Interact is flourishing in this district. It's amazing to see this grow over the last couple of years. These are folks in high school who are doing service projects, who are being leaders in their communities and their schools. And then Rotaract, as we've seen evolve over the years, is really now another arm of Rotary itself. And we want to add more clubs both at the college and university level around our district, but also start some community-based clubs. And then I'm really excited about something called Early Act. So this is for younger students in primary school, just to get them involved with some very basic thinking around what it means to be a member of your community and serve. And I know my club is working on a project, a Peace Pole project with the new garden at an elementary school, and this is really tying into that very nicely. So, again, we want heavy participation in all these programs. I think we have the right people at the helm, and our goal is to motivate young people to see how working together, creating community benefits the world. And this goes across all of our programs. Environmental, peace, goes across our work with social justice, right, and diversity. And so super excited to be a part of this. Love my team that I get to work with this year, and excited to support Renee and her leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming on board and re-entering. Thanks for having your second wind now. I should say. I'm completely lucking out. Okay, so we'll have now I'm supposed to speak to a couple of the new things that we have coming up within our district. Some of the new initiatives that we're doing. You heard Pat allude to a Polio Plus challenge. What we've realized is that COVID changed a lot of our habits. Some of our priorities were adjusted. And so we need to kind of look at those things again, figure out where we're headed. So we've reevaluated a few things and decided Polio Plus needed some more attention. And we are this close. I don't know if you guys know, we're this close to ending polio. Woo! But we can't take our foot off the gas now. So we really have to kind of refocus here at the last little bit. You know, when you're running a race, the last 50 yards is the hardest. It seems like it's the longest. It goes into slow motion and everything just starts to kind of, well, that's what's happening with polio. So let's kick it into gear and get on board. The Polio Plus Challenge is meant to do that. What we're going to do is kick it off in August, and we have a couple of surprises along the way. We're putting together, we have a baseball game this weekend. I'm not sure if you guys, next weekend on the 17th of June, we have our Polio Plus Nationals baseball game at the National Stadium, the big boy team up in DC. But we're having talks with the one of the farm teams that's located down here in the Fredericksburg area, and they're called the Frednats. And any of the clubs that are in this area are probably familiar with them. And we're working on them to do a Polio Plus game down here. And the way that'll work is similar to the one up north, but it's just drive down 95 about 40 miles and take a right, and then you'll be at our stadium. And I see Sheila's wearing a baseball cap in honor of that taking place. So buy your tickets for this weekend and keep your eyes open for the one that's going to happen in August in Fredericksburg. But that'll be part of us kicking off our Polio Plus Challenge. And the way it's going to work is for the Polio Plus Challenge, we're going to offer for folks to raise money in the name of Polio Plus in a couple of ways. And we don't want to limit anyone by just having a physical challenge. So we're going to do a physical and a mental challenge. So anyone that wants to participate by participating in the physical challenge, they'll put out, a messaging that will say, hey, I'm going to do 30 minutes of activity every day for a month. And if you'll support me by donating to the Polio Plus Fund in honor of that, then we'll have the capability of creating sites through Raise for Rotary to do that. The other option is to do a mental challenge if you want to participate in that way by doing Sudoku, word puzzles, committing to spending 30 minutes a day reading, whatever it is we want our Rotary members who are participating in this challenge to spend 30 minutes dedicating their time towards either physical or mental activity while they think about Polio Plus and while they think about ending polio around the world, eradicating polio in the globe. So we're going to put out all the details about that. It'll be coming out soon and it's going to be awesome. I want maximum participation. Pat did mention that there would be something fun if we reach a certain goal amount, and we haven't come to that goal. We've had many different options come on the table. I think I heard $20,000 as one of the goals. Sheila, is that one of the goals you heard? I heard 20,000. If we could reach the amount that we settle on, we're gonna have to come to an agreement on that. Then the district team, and that can include whoever's willing to do it, but so far it's several people from the DG line and a couple of people from the staff have agreed. We're all going to, on February 23rd, 2024, on the birthday of Paul Harris and someone else named Sheila, we're going to jump in a very cold body of water to celebrate whatever funds we're able to raise. So if you guys want to see that happen, and I have a feeling there's a bunch of you that wouldn't mind watching us just suffer a little in some cold water, we're going to do it, and we'll do it live on camera. We'll live stream it, and we'll have a big party. We'll have as many people there in person as we can, but that'll be to celebrate the amount that we're able to raise for Polio Plus. I have a few more minutes here where I just want to talk about a couple of other things. You heard about the environmental committee. It's such an important piece of our Rotary story. The environment is such an important piece now, so we want to really promote that. And then you heard Juanita talk about strategic planning, and we know that we need to move on that in some of our clubs. But there's a program that's coming out that we're investigating being a part of, and it's called a visioning program. And I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can. But if strategic planning and vision boards could have a planning baby, it would be visioning. That's the way I can put it out there. If you could look at mapping out how you want your club's Rotary journey to look for the next 3 to 5 years, and you did that in the way of vision boarding and looking at all the different aspects and how they come together and work together, that's visioning. But essentially, it's a program that's available through the zone, where we as a district can commit that we want to participate. We'll get a handful of folks trained up, and they will then be able to come into your club, sit down with you guys and talk about what it is that you're hoping for in the future, because we all want to create hope in the world. And that team, that trained team, will work with you to develop a visioning plan for your club. I think that this is going to change the face of our planning, and I'm super excited about it. We'll keep you posted. Word's going to come. We'll keep putting the word out, but right now we're forming up who wants to be part of this team. So if you have people that you think are in your club and that are in your area that could be strong in this area, and they have experience in Rotary, send them our way, because we're putting together the district team that's going to do this. I really think this is going to change things for us. And the final thing that I want to talk about before we move on to the next section is the mental health initiative. You heard Gordon McAnally during his speech speak to the mental health piece. It is something that is very close to his heart and very important globally. And one of the things that he said to me personally was, when we were speaking about it, he and I have a close relationship when it comes to mental health. He knows that I've had my own mental health journey that's come along with my Rotary journey. Any of you that know me know that that's the case. Hey, Barry, you're live. Your mic is live. There you go. So Gordon and I spoke about it, and he said, you know, we are so close to ending polio, because in 1985, Rotary said, okay, this is enough. This is a global issue, and we need to be part of the solution. And he said, so when I look at the mental health issues that are going on in the world today because of COVID and everything else that's happening, my question is, why can't Rotary fix it? If someone's going to fix it, why can't it be Rotary? We are everywhere. We are in every community. So I love that thought. Why can't we fix it? And I think that we can be a big part of the solution to the global problem that we have with mental health. So we are creating in our district a district chapter of the Rotary Action Group on Mental Health Initiatives. This action group was started with the help of Gordon McAnally, and I don't know if many of you might know Geetha, who is past district governor in 7620, our neighbors to the north. She is with Johns Hopkins, and she is big in the mental health field. It is her specialty. She has been part of this project from the beginning. She spoke at International Assembly. She spoke at the, I believe there was a video, or maybe she was there in person. I wasn't there, at the International Conference in Sydney, or in Melbourne. But this is a huge piece to this year's messaging. So we're entering that. We have a great team put together of people that are Rotary members and also mental health experts from within our district who've come together to formulate a plan on how we're going to carry this out and work together through the RAG to make this something that's positive in our district. Here's the thing though, this is not us telling people how to do stuff. This is not us. The district isn't going to come in and be like, fix your mental health. We're going to come up with solutions and ways that we can open conversations within our clubs so that people feel comfortable about speaking about mental health issues. What the ultimate goal is to remove the stigma of talking about mental health. We don't ever want a person to feel like they can't come to you and say, instead of, you know, oh, my shoulder hurts today because I did whatever. We also need to be able to walk in and say, you know, my head isn't feeling right. I need to take a mental health break. I need a day to do this. That is okay. We need to start building that into our societies, building that into our clubs. And that's just where it'll start. Where it'll end, I couldn't tell you because we're going to be on this journey together, but I'm really excited to be on it with you. I think it's validly important. And so I'm going to have, at this time, I'm going to have Kaz play a video. I'm going to set this up for you real quick though. Gordon McAnally spoke to us again at International Assembly. This is his message to us specifically about the mental health piece and how it related to him and why he believes that this is such an important piece. And I'll let you listen directly from his mouth.
Earlier this week, during my opening speech, I asked for Rotary to place a new emphasis on taking care of our fellow members and those in our communities, especially in regard to our mental health. I also promised to explain why mental health was such an important topic for me. And so this morning, I would like to share that why. And to do so, I want to tell you about Ian. Like me, Ian came from Edinburgh. He was born in 1960, which made him 3 years younger than me, but we attended the same school, the Royal High School. Ian grew up in a loving, caring family with a single sibling, his mother and father instilling in their children a good sense of values. He grew up happy. Ian developed many interests down the years that allowed him to make a large circle of friends, and he was always the life and soul of the party. He would often join me and other friends at rugby matches, watching Scotland play and frequently lose to England and Wales in particular. Now, on leaving school, Ian studied computer science at Heriot-Watt University in Scotland. And as an outstanding student in his chosen field, he was in great demand from potential employers as he approached graduation. Like many young Scots before him, Ian left Scotland to work and joined STC in Stevenage, close to London, England. I saw rather less of Ian once he moved away from Scotland, but we were regularly in touch and always caught up whenever he came back to Edinburgh to visit his parents. Ian didn't just have an active social life. He was a great success professionally as well. He won several computer industry awards as his expertise in the field was recognised. When he first relocated to England from Scotland, Ian joined and was an active member of the Rotaract Club of Hitchin. And it was through Rotaract that he met and fell in love with Jean, a very English girl with a very Scottish name. Heather and I were at their wedding in 1989, and a great time was had by all, especially by our daughters, Sarah and Rebecca, who at the age of 5 and 3 were asked to be flower girls. Ian's career continued to flourish as his talent was recognised on a wider scale. He and Jean had 2 delightful children, Lucy and Jamie, and they were the happiest of families, enjoying life to the fullest with a beautiful home in Buckinghamshire not far from London and a lifestyle to match. Heather and I, along with our daughters Sarah and Rebecca, would often see them when they visited Scotland, and we would often visit them at their home in England. But somehow, sometime, somewhere along the way, something changed for Ian, and he began to suffer from poor mental health. That black dog of depression, first described by Sir Winston Churchill, gradually overtook the things he once loved, the person he once recognized in the mirror, the life he once lived. It followed him around like a shadow, like a large, lumbering shadow, loyal as a canine. Nobody knew it, not Jean, his wife, nor his family, nor his friends. Like many sufferers of poor mental health, Ian concealed it so very well. I guess it was for fear of being seen as weak, or for fear of being judged, or even for fear of being rejected. Eventually, after suffering in silence for who knows how long, it all became too much for Ian. And on the 8th of February 2014, at the age of 53, while attending a business conference in San Diego, California, Ian took his own life, leaving behind him Jean, Lucy and Jamie, then in their teens, an extended family and a large circle of friends whose lives were changed forever, and who continue to this day to ask themselves the questions: why? What signs did we miss? How much more could we have done? I believe that one of the main reasons Ian and so many others like him reached the point he did was that mental health remains such a taboo subject, that mental health supplies remain very, very short, that people do not reach out to each other and ask the question, how are you? Or perhaps, to be more accurate, how are you really? I've heard it said that the mental health system isn't broken, it just hasn't been built yet. Well, maybe, just maybe, Rotary can, as it has done with so many other things, help build it. I believe that we in Rotary have a big part to play in the de-stigmatization of mental health, in learning how to prevent issues while also making mental health services more available, and by being there for one another, for asking that question, how are you really? And that is why I want us to prioritise mental health during 2023-24 and hopefully beyond. And in a minute, I'd like you to hear from an expert in the field, Dr. Geeta Jeyaram, a psychiatrist and associate professor at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and the founding vice chair of the Rotary Mental Health and 15 recipient of the Global Alumnus Service to Humanity Award for Rotary. Working with professionals like Dr. Jeyaram, we aim to create a space where people both within Rotary and our broader community feel safe talking about and addressing mental health issues. We will encourage clubs and districts to take action to erase the stigma associated with discussing emotional well-being, raise awareness of mental health needs for ourselves and those around us, work together on proven prevention techniques, and improve access to quality mental health services. It's a big ask. It's an important task. And I'm asking you to become champions of this effort. But before I finish, there is one more thing I want to tell you about Ian. Ian was my brother, my only brother. And believe me, I don't tell you that to seek your sympathy. but to merely illustrate that any one of us can be affected by the scourge of poor mental health. Any one of us can be left seeking answers to the questions: why? What signs did we miss? What more could we have done?
So I'll let everybody take a breath after that. You could have heard a pin drop in that room. And there were 1,100 people listening to him speak that morning. And the hush that fell over the crowd was amazing. But you can see why it's so important to Gordon. And I believe we can all speak to some personal experience that we've had with mental health in our own lives or in the lives of some people that we know and love. So I don't think this is a big ask for us to get involved in this mental health initiative. I believe it's something that, as in our Rotary hearts, is right there on the tip of our tongue. We're ready to speak to it. So thank you for listening to that video. I maybe should have given it a warning label. I feel like it's extremely impactful, and it really drives home how personal this is for the president of our Rotary International, how personal this is to him. And he made it personal for all of us through his words. So some more new initiatives. We're gonna really focus a little bit on the four-way test this year. We're gonna revisit that. I think that the four-way test is a great way to make sure that we're following the guidelines and the tenets that we should be. It's such a great example. It's not official. It doesn't belong to Rotary. It belongs to everyone, but it is such a great test. And if you want to really learn about it and speak to your club members about it, Google the story behind it, Google the meaning of each of those four. And if you're adventurous, Google what's the fifth test. Okay, and then the Rotary Action Plan is something else that we're going to be focusing on. That is easy to find. The information on the Rotary Action Plan is something that we should all be incorporating into our daily Rotary lives. We're gonna, let's see, we're gonna engage in new and existing and potential Rotary members. Engagement is such an important piece to the puzzle, and I think it's something that we miss. We hit and miss every now and then. We get new members in, and we are very excited about them joining, and then we get on with the business of the club, and sometimes they feel a little bit lost in the sauce. Where do I go? Where do I turn? How can I learn more? So we have Rotary Leadership Institute. We're really going to push that, and we're going to start doing something new. I know everyone enjoyed when Sheila opened her Zoom window on Tuesday evenings for the discussions, conversations with the DG. She always had a big crowd of folks that wanted to hang out with her. We're going to continue that, but in a different way. We're going to formalize it a little more, and we're going to call it a Rotary 101. And it's just going to be, the intro is going to be a little bit of information about Rotary. So we're going to encourage clubs to send their new members to Rotary 101, as well as inviting everyone who's already been in Rotary for a while to come back to that Zoom and have a conversation. This way we can open up the conversation between Rotarians that have experienced everything under the sun to the new folks that have no idea what all these acronyms mean. When we say things like RILA, they're like, what? So we're going to just explain a few things, some basic just Rotary jargon. We're going to talk about what goes on in our district, and then we're going to have our Q&A discussion kind of thing. So that's going to happen once a month on an evening, and once a month we're going to do a lunchtime one, so we can try to cover all of the needs of the Rotary members in our district. So keep an eye out for that. We'll send more information. That will probably won't roll out until August or September. July is such a transitional period. We don't want to try to start everything on July 1st. We're going to ease into it. We have a whole year to do this, y'all. And then finally, we want to encourage everyone to collaborate, find community and other Rotary partners to work with on your projects. That's going to be a big focus that we're going to push this year. So those are just some of the goals that I have personally for our district. And we'll roll out official goals, awards and recognition criteria, the governor's citation, Rotary citation. All of those things will be coming out after July 1st. Right now, we're focusing on the governor's citation, the Rotary citation, and all the awards that are coming 20 days to submit those. And there's a session during DTA later this afternoon that's going to cover that. But if you have any questions, Cindy Kacer's the chair, and District Governor Sheila Brennan is also available to help you guys through that piece. So we're going to break for lunch in 5 minutes. And here's the deal. Please, goodness, keep your screens open, your computers on. Do not log out of this meeting while you take your lunch. You can dim your video if you don't want anyone to watch you eat. That's totally acceptable. But if you guys want to chat during lunch, feel free to stay and do that. If you want to eat your food and chit chat with our fellow Rotary members, but keep everything open. But to close us out for this first portion of the day before we break for lunch, I do want to have Shannon play us a couple of fun videos that she found that really do kind of put an exclamation point on what some of our experiences can be when we enter the volunteer world and we're working with volunteers. This is something we all have to keep in mind as leaders in our clubs. These folks aren't paid a dime, and neither are we. So we have to always keep that in mind while we're working through all of our processes, policies, and procedures for our events and activities. But these videos are just a fun little way to express how sometimes we all feel. So I'll see you all again at 11 o'clock. Please enjoy these videos and then go grab a snack. We don't have any noise. We're having technical difficulties, which is no surprise.
I like to climb mountains.
There we are.
I like to build planes in the air.
I grew up wanting to be on a wing, wanting to be up this high.
Sometimes the temperature up at altitude will reach 60 below. It's brisk, it's refreshing.
You never know what you're going to come across up here. Canadian geese, mallards,
owls. These people back here, that's why I come to work. That's why I build airplanes in the sky.
We're not just building a plane here. We're building a dream.
I love this job.
I get a lot of thanks up here. When I look over there and I see that little kid, the look in his eyes, that's all the thanks I need.
EDS, managing the complex.
All right, I think we had one more video with the cats, but I'm not sure if that's working out. So
back to Shannon.
It's outdoor season. Did you know Visprin has everything you need to get your small business outside?
no, okay, all right. Well, we'll go ahead then and break for lunch. You know what? Showing these videos is like trying to herd cats. Let me explain the video that we were gonna show real quick. It was a bunch of ranchers.
Give me a link, Shannon.
They're all on. Can you play? Is it ready? Oh, I'm not sure.
You're
Anyway,
talking, but I don't know what you're saying to me.
no, that's fine. It's the video would have been a bunch of ranchers, ranch hands running around on horses doing some ranching. But the thing that they're herding are not cows or horses, they're cats. It's a really funny video. So just imagine that in your head. And that's what the vision I'm going to leave you with. So everyone, will see you back here in half an hour for The secondary part where we're going to have our district training assembly, we'll see you at 11 a.m. Again, don't log off. You can leave, but don't really leave. Thank you so much.